Peace and blessings. It's your boy Big C. As you know, I'm always on my way somewhere to handle some kind of business. Right now, I'm on my way to work. I want to make this video because one of my subscribers that asked me. Shout out to my folks. I met you at the Ward Dean Muhammad Mosque. I forgot his name, but I'll put that in there later on. Anyway, yeah, man, my boy asked me to do a video about how I got introduced to Islam. How did I become a Muslim? Now, first off, I'm not a perfect Muslim. I cuss. I'm trying to get that under control. You know, I'm from the street, so I still got a lot of the rough edges to polish. But Islam has helped my life tremendously. If you know me when I was a youngster, and if you understand the dynamics of the city, of the town, you understand that I did a tremendous change, and Islam was mostly responsible for that. Allah is responsible for who I am today. You know, Allah said He don't change the circumstances of a people until they change the circumstances of themselves. So I had to look in the mirror. I used to sell dope in the Dubs in East Oakland. From 1985 to 2005, basically, I was on the corner. Where I was after 2000, I was still around a little bit, just a little bit messing around. But from 85 into, I say 97, 98, I was on the block. And we used to wake up, bag up dope, go outside and sell it. The Ave was like a storefront. You know, I remember the 6 o'clock in the morning rolls, the roll after 4 o'clock, nighttime, late nights. You know, I was doing all that. And having rock houses, turning people that smoke crack houses into rock houses, and just basically selling dope, stacking guns, getting into trouble. So, one time on my birthday, New Year's Eve, I was standing in front of the store and I was just serving. I had a zip, rocked up, and that's an ounce. And I was serving in front of the store because there was so many customers coming. And it was New Year's Eve, you know, they was partying. That's one of the rolling nights of the year. So I'm serving, but I'm drinking because it's my birthday. So I'm not paying attention that it's a Vice car 1 block down with their lights off. And they just watching me. So they pull up on me. You know, I try to tuck it in my butt cheeks. They like, you want us to get it or you gonna get it? And I went down for that. I went down for a lot of things. The last straw, you know, I used to go to jail. Like the summer come, I'd be in jail. Miss the summer, miss Christmases, miss my daughter being born. The first time I held my daughter was in Superior Court. I was in Santa Rita, about to go to the pen, and my daughter was born, and I was able to hold her in court. And man, she was so pretty. And I remember that I cried like a baby when I got back to the holding tank. Yeah, man, but, you know, I should be in jail. You know, I should always get myself in shape when I go to jail. Even, you know, I wasn't using drugs on the street. We didn't use drugs back then. Like nowadays, people that grind, they might be using the stuff that they sell. That was taboo to us. We didn't do that. We were strictly mob orientated. It was mob rules, you know. If you snitch, you wasn't hanging around us. You know, you might want to get away. One time, one of my partners had told, my ex-partners, had told on a murder, and my folks called me, was like, Big C, man, we got paperwork on him. So he brought the paperwork to me, and dude was hanging with me every day. So I'm like, hey man, you know, they saying some stuff about you. They got some paperwork on you, bruh. So I show him the paperwork. He said, Big C, man, I'm gonna tell you the truth. No, I told him about the paperwork. He said he tried to deny it. I said, nigga, it sounded just like you. It was you. And he tried to say I wasn't him or some stuff like that. Anyway, he finally admitted and said, okay, Big C, man, I only told him one murder. Because I was such a figure that brothers could relate to, and you know, he tried it, you know. So instead of us downing him, which, you know, I was kind of against that. He had a pistol. I said, man, let me see that pistol, man, because I got some problems around the corner. So I got his pistol, and then my folks came out the yard with a tech. It was like, nigga, get your ass up out of here. And we had to raise him up off the spot. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never came back. I seen him a couple times, but I don't deal with him, you know. He moved out of state. But that's the type of shit I was in. So the last time we got arrested, it was so many times, man. But I'm gonna go. You know, one time I shook the police car. They was watching us for 30 minutes. No, they was watching us for like an hour. And I was like, man, who was in that truck? It was a truck sitting on the foothill, which is the main boulevard, and we down the street, and we at the stove. So we coming up the street to the stove, then going back down into the cut, to the foxhole, to grind. Because you be in the cut, and you prepared, you just exit routes and ways to get away once you get in the cut. So I come out the cut, I'm like, man, it's a fucking truck up there watching us for, it's been there for an hour. It's got heck of bikes, and it's just, the truck don't look right. So I was drinking, I went and shook the truck. If the police up in there, man, we're gonna kill you. And they was up in there, they came out there and whooped my ass. I went to jail, I went back to jail, I just got out for 2 months before. I went back on a violation for terrorist threats on the police. So then the last time I got out again, I wasn't really grinding. You know what I'm saying? I just was hanging around the turf because I couldn't find a job. I didn't know how to do a job search properly, and I was kind of torn. I was straddling the fence. So my cousin is grinding, you know, and I got a couple rocks on me, you know what I'm saying? Cause I make a little money and shit, but my cousin is rolling, and it's like 12 o'clock. So about 1 o'clock, I see this truck. It's a glass truck with all glass sitting in one of the neighbors' yards. And I'm like, man, I've been through that before. I'm like, blood. That truck definitely don't look right. It's a glass truck. It ain't never been there before. We ain't never seen that truck. He said, man, I'm just gonna run this count off, then we out of here, Big C. I'm like, okay, so it's get to 2 o'clock in the morning, and once it's, you know, before we want to catch the stove, because they stopped selling alcohol after 2, So my cousin, he said he going to Willie Brown's on an old school Raider liquor store on Fruitvale and get a fifth of Remy, a pint of Remy or something. So, because our philosophy was drinking liquor make the money come quicker. Got that from Pop. So it's always rolling. So it's rolling, man. Hella Knox, he's serving Hella Knox. And I see a shadow in the backyard. Now we're in a residential area, we got houses with, not San Francisco, they're close together. Oakland, we got yards. But it's blocks, you know what I'm saying? So they come from the back block and hit the fence and be right there. That's how a lot of my folks got killed too. Niggas jumping over the fence and jumping back over the fence. Anyway, so I see that shadow. I'm like, oh man. I say, no, I'm thinking to myself, am I tripping? Is it a mother? It can't be nobody back there because I know who live in the house, and they not gonna be hanging in their backyard at that time of night. So I see the shadow, and my cousin, he said, man, I'm going to the store, get this drink, I'll be right back. So while he gone, his Knox coming. I don't want to serve, because I don't know what this truck is doing. And I told this nigga that this truck ain't cool, but he's still serving. So I'm just out there. I ain't tripping. It might not be. It might be. It might not be. So I give it's a motherfucker begging me for a piece, a hit. And a Big C, man, give me a hit, man. I ain't got no money, man. So I give his ass a little bump. You know what I'm saying? So about 5 minutes later, I see hella police start coming. They come, I'm waiting for Cuzzo to come. He ain't never showed back up. So I see hella police coming, man. I'm like, oh, they hitting. Say, I ain't did nothing, I ain't served nobody, right? So, the motherfuckers they pull up, they got Cuzzo in the back seat. They done took him from the liquor store. They got him up at the liquor store. So they come back and they get me, put me in the back seat. So we like, man, I'm like, what the fuck, man? He said, and they got, in the other cars, they got all the people that he served, the Knox, the customers. They got them all in the car, right? So I'm like, man, they was watching, blood. They was in that fucking truck, man. I'm telling you. And sure enough, they was in that motherfucking truck watching, and I ended up going to, they said that I sold a motherfucker. I was on a probation with a long ass tail. Like if I get caught, I'll do 17 years. If I did anything wrong. I had a 12-year tail. So it was a messed up probation, man. I had a 12-year tail, and I ended up getting 3 years for that. So that was the last time I went to prison. I was like, man, I could have went out there and got a job. I could have handled my business. I kept going back around 25th. Every time I go to the block, I go to jail. I might not even be doing nothing no more. I'm just hanging around here. But before then, I was going back and forth to jail. So this time when I went to jail, I had a girl, right? And she was a good girl, had a great family. You know what I'm saying? They had tried to help me change my life. I kept spinning my wheels and messing up and getting in trouble. I think I was around 34 at that time. I've been selling dope all my life. I didn't know nothing else. That's what it was back in the day. So when I got to 3 years, I was exercising and I was studying. I was reading the Bible back and forth. I read the Bible a couple times. I was doing a lot of stuff, challenging myself. Okay, man, when I go home this time, I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna stay my ass out of it. And I'm not going over to the block no more. I'm gonna stay away from that, and I'm gonna change my life, man. And I started envisioning myself living like that, because I read a book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Matthew Maltz, and it talked about visualizing where you want to be. I started reading heck of books, How to Win Friends and Influence People, all self-help and self-development books. And I started asking myself questions. My cousin sent me this book called Visions for Black Men by Naeem Akbar. I started asking myself questions like, Big C, man, are you really a man? Are you a boy? Are you a male? You know, because the book talks about being a man, boy, or male in the stages of life that we go through. And I was really a boy at that time, because I was up under the foot of the police. I was behind enemy lines, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't handling my business. So wasn't taking care of my kids, none of that. So I had to confess to myself that I was a little boy at 34 years old, running around in the streets, didn't have no job, wasn't doing nothing for myself positive. You know, I was very angry, mean. I would hurt you. I would hurt you if I got the chance. I'd probably kill you. You know, I was involved with a lot of stuff, man. So when I came to in jail and started talking to myself about what I was gonna do, planning for what I was gonna do. Mind you, in jail, I was like the pod father. I was the janitor, the porter. So I was always out my cell. I was able to do a little bit extra, help a lot of people. I used to talk to the youngsters. You know, I always been that type of person that give the youngsters, give my folks some game, and I always been solid. You know, so I made acquaintances with some solid folks in jail. You know, so you know, I don't have no problem in jail. I beat a nigga ass in jail or whatever, wherever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have that. I had those kind of problems. My problems was just being there. So I'm reading the Quran. I'm reading the Bible. I don't want to read the Quran because I'm so wrapped up in Jesus and Christianity that just the whole thought of reading the Quran is like I'm going against God. So those books that I was reading opened up my mind and told me, man, to gather information, you know what I'm saying, from everywhere, right? So I was studying life. I was studying, why am I here? What is the meaning for me being in this world? You know, I'm getting in all this trouble and stuff ain't going right, and I don't see no future in my life, you know? I always thought I was gonna die, you know? I know we're gonna die, but I thought I was gonna get killed in the streets. So I'm trying to figure it out, and I start feeling really good about myself. I felt healthy, I was clean, no alcohol, because I drank alcohol. Hey, brother, what you up to? Hey, I got these groups that I'm doing today called Project Connect and in West Oakland. Come down there, man. You come to 6 groups. You get $100.
All right, I like last time.
2811 Adeline.
What time?
At 12 o'clock.
2811 Adeline?
Yeah.
2811 Adeline.
Come on. Sorry about that. Johnny, get out of here. Go around. Hold on, I gotta speak to these people. Johnny, what is you doing down here messing with him? What's going on? I love you too.
How much is it,
For
JD?
you.
You better be good, John.
I need some money.
Oh my God, I gotta come back. We're gonna make prayer. We're gonna make salat.
I need some money, I said.
Okay. Hey, come to the groups.
Yeah, what is it?
Hey, John, ever bring some money? Oh man, that's the old stove man. He just came from Yemen. Had the stove down here. I'm riding through the block right now. Had the stove down here, and now he's over there with them. This is crazy, because that's 30 years. It took him 30 years to get over there. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I'm in jail, right? And I'm reading, I'm studying, and my mind is opened up now to the, let me crack this Quran and get this information out of here. I'm getting all this other information from everywhere else. Let me crack this Quran open and get this salute and get this information that they got in this Quran. So once I started reading the Quran, it was a whole different, way that the information came, and I was able to, it opened my mind up even more, and from reading about the stories in the Bible and the Jesus connection to God, and who Jesus, reading what they said Jesus was, and some of that stuff, a lot of that stuff wasn't adding up. It didn't add up to a rational thinking man. So I'm studying, you know what I'm saying? Then I wanna, at that point, I'm so happy that I'm alive and that I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling liberated while I'm in jail. You know what I'm saying? My girl, she doing everything that she could do. Got my money on my books is right and everything. I'm about to go to prison, but it's gonna be straight. My brother up there, you know what I'm saying? I ain't seen my brother in 5 years, so maybe I see Zoe in one of them prisons. So, and then he had got stabbed in the Pelican Bay riot in 2015 times. So, I wanted to go up there and be with my brother. Fuck it. So, we had just put out the album Next to Kin. Couldn't do the album because we was in jail. So I'm studying and my mind opened up, man. And Islam, the Quran opened me up. And I'm reading the Quran and I'm reading the history of Prophet Muhammad. And I'm reading about Christianity. And I'm reading the history of Jesus. And I'm reading about the history of the world, because I'm looking for how did this all come about, So God opened me up, man. It was a brother, it was a black brother. He was from Yusuf Bey, sect of Islam, sect, because it wasn't all the way. Anyway, and then he was practicing Sunni Islam, Orthodox Islam. So I used to watch him. He used to pray. I was like, man, and then he was so humble. He was an older man. He was strong. He used to kick my ass in chest too. And we had this Mexican guy with one leg. He had 7 years. I think he did a robbery. They shot his leg off or something. And so the Mexican guy was so sharp. He had all the books. And that's when I started seeing, oh man, I need these books. Wretched of the Earth, Franz Fanon, Lerone Bennett, Florida Mayflower. I need to get these books. So I started to have my girl, my cousin sending me all them books. That's why I got Blood in My Eye, all the books. So I'm reading straight, and then I had a friend named Tracy. She used to send me so much black liberation stuff that they wouldn't let me get it. And I complained to the sheriffs in Santa Rita, like, why I couldn't get my stuff with the ISIS papers and COINTELPRO, all that stuff. They said, well, they gave me a paper. They said it'll cause riots and all kind of shit if I get that. But people was getting the Dutch and the other books with the gun and the dope on top of the book. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, so they wouldn't let me get this knowledge, but they let these dudes get this bull crap. So anyway, you know, I was studying, man. I was studying, I was doing exercise, and I was in the body shop. When I go to jail, I'm trying to get my shit together so when I come home, I don't have to, you know, I could be ready for whatever I need to do. You know, to keep my body ready. Don't just lay down up in there and be running around with no fools. I was by myself. I put toilet paper in my ears so I don't talk to nobody. You know? Yeah, man, I started studying. I was studying with the brothers and the Mexican guy. And, you know, we'd bring all our books out at pod time and put them on the table and we'd go into them books. And I was getting information for Islam, the American Indians, the Incas, and the Mayans, and you know, we was talking about our cultures, Africa, the history of the world, the religions. So one night, after studying with the brother, and I was I came out, I told him, I said, man, how do you be a Muslim? Because I was interested. Then I read Malcolm X autobiography of Malcolm X, and I was like, man, that's me. You know what I'm saying? I want to do that. You know, I want to change my life. So I came out. I had a dream one night. I was in my cell, and I had a dream that you know, after studying, before I went to sleep, I studied and I prayed, you know what I'm saying? And I had this dream that I was laying on my side and somebody was trying to get my attention in the back. And you could feel the energy, you know, you were like, turn around and look. So when I turned around and looked, it was a figure, I couldn't see their face, but they was dressed in a pretty baby blue, a real nice, pretty blue color. And they were sitting just off in the middle of nowhere, and it was a big light. It was bigger than the sun. I want to think it was the sun, but it was bigger than the sun. There was a big light in back of them. And when I turned around and looked like this, they were so happy they got my attention. They was waving at me like, hey, see, Chris. They was like they loved me. And I equated that to, I had been reading the life and story of Prophet Muhammad before I became a Muslim. And I was like, you know, I guess that vision came out of me reading that book. But when I came out of there, out of the cell for breakfast, I told OG, I said, man, I want to be a Muslim, man. Teach me how to pray. And he teach me everything I need to know. So the OG, he taught me, he wrote down the prayers. He wrote down the Fatiha in Arabic and English and how you pronounce it. He wrote down the Surah Nas, the Ikhlas. He wrote down Ikhlas. And he wrote down, first of all, he gave me Fatiha. I learned the Fatiha in one day because I wanted to be able to pray. And because that day I came out and prayed with him. I stood on the side of him and prayed with him, and I was able to. I put my the Fatiha, the paper, on the ground. So you know when you're praying, you don't close your eyes, keep your eyes open. So I'm reading the Fatiha, and I'm just following him. I didn't know none of the other stuff. So he had wrote down the whole prayer, and I remembered that in like less than a week. The whole prayer, I learned how to pray. And because I really wanted to pray. My thing was, God had did so much stuff for me and kept me alive through all the stuff that I was harming myself and doing to myself, that I wanted to get something back to God. And I felt that the 5 prayers a day was me giving back. The prayers are for Allah. You know, the prayer is for me too. But their appreciation, and it's ordered what Allah said, pray 5 times. He told us to pray more than that. But he broke it down to 5 times after I forgot who it was, kept going. Gabriel went to him and said, "Oh Allah, man, I don't think that he wanted to pray 50 times. Yeah, man, they not gonna be able to do that." He said, "Okay, well, tell them 20. So he came down and he's, no, they not gonna be able to. He went back up, no, they not gonna be able to do that. So he got all the way down to 5. And it's like, well, if they don't do those 5 prayers, then that's so be it. So Allah prescribed the 5 prayers. The prayers is like a prescription medication for us. And they was the way of me giving back. So once I start talking to Muslims and meeting Muslims, especially in jail, man, it was some good. I met some great people. You know what I'm saying? Great guys, man. I met my brother Saeed, man. Saeed just passed. Saeed was a gangster. We were cellies. Saeed taught me a lot. My brother Tasneem taught me a lot. Imam Michael Muhammad came from Pleasant Valley Prison and married me and my wife when I got out. It was a great. Now I remember the examples of Tasheri, my brother Tasheri from East Oakland. A lot of brothers, man. A lot of brothers. My brother Phil, Tasheri brother. You know, I watched examples of Islam and they were good examples, good people, man. So after I embraced Islam was when I was able to. When I came out, I got a job, which I've been off and on that job for 15 years. I'm still on that job. You know what I'm saying? I'm back at that job, and it's, you know, we help the people, man. I worked for the San Mateo Health Department for a brief stint. I didn't like it out there. I want to work around the people, but there's a lot of money in San Mateo County. I work for Tenderloin Health in San Francisco, doing what I'm doing right now with a lot of people with compromised health and case management and stuff like that. I turned my life all the way around. I still go through the hood, but I go through to bring them out. You know what I'm saying? To try to help them with their drug addictions, to be a inspiration to them, because they used to look up to me out there when I was doing that. These youngsters now, they want to be like us, so that they went to prison and then they died. You know, I lost a lot of people, a lot of good friends, a lot of cousins. My cousin got killed. A lot of my cousin Sterl, my cousin Jamani, my folks Tip, Damon, D-Dub, Wayne, Pretty Boy Wayne, MT, Jack Perkins, man, I can go on and on and on, man. Henry Scott, Conehead, Eric Johnson, Jelly, man, I can go on and on and on. I'm 51, man. So that's how I embraced Islam and changed my life. When I embraced Islam, it changed my life. I got married when I came home. Michael Muhammad married me and my wife together, along with Father Jay from St. Benavides in East Oakland. They did a co-thing because my wife was Christian, and we had that wedding, and her mom them gave us the house. We took over the mortgage, and I came on the car. It's about $2,000 worth of clothes, coats, and you know, God, I don't know how I got all that stuff, and I didn't have nothing. You know, the little stuff I did, I was trying to get a job before I went home. I came home, a Muslim. I had a home, cars, clothes, some good people looking out for me. And ever since I've been getting those blessings, man, I've been wanting to give them back. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to give them back. I just didn't know how to stop grinding. I didn't know how to get out the streets. But eventually God helped me do that, and he brought me Islam. And although sometimes I'm not all the way on my deen, I'm never stopping being a Muslim. My brother Shahid, that we was in the cell together, he came home, and he started driving trucks, went to North Dakota. Shah was struggling with a lot of demons and stuff like that. And, you know, militant-minded. I'm talking about real, what you would call, I know is the real man, but real niggas that was really serious about what we was talking about. So Shah could have them demons, couldn't fight, he was fighting them demons, came out here, I had hired him to work with us over here for this project that I got because they took his license because his heart was bad. And Shah ended up dying, man. I went to Mexico. I seen a post on Facebook, my Muslim brother Shahid, Farouk Shahid, may Allah bless his soul. He passed away, came back home, man. This was just last month. And stood in the grave. They handed me my folks. We put him in the grave. We buried him like, that's the first time. That's one of the things that exposed me to Islam. My folks, Jock, back in the day, and Tone Penniman was in the grave. And we handed Jock to Tone. Jock had got killed going to Richmond to buy some keys during the drought. Niggas came out the closet in the house. When he went in the house, they came out the closet. Jock had a 45 on him. They came out the closet, shot him in the back of the head, killed him, left him in that abandoned house, which they was acting like it was the trap house. But they got him for like $45,000. And Jock had a funeral. This was back in 92, 93. And Jock had just took his Shahada, and they named him Saeed Muhammad. And you know, I was Christian. This is before I even went to jail for that and got exposed to Islam that time. But we buried him. Everybody was clean. All the drug dealers, Amp Flowers, everybody was up there. Ice-T and Tasheri, everybody. Tone Penniman got in the grave, and we handed Jock in the sheet to Tone, and we buried him and said the janazah, and I was like, man, that was beautiful, you know? That was the seed that was planted. See, the thing about seeds is, like a redwood, it could be in a position for years, and when the season and the conditions is right, it'll grow. But it could be in that position where it's at and not grow for years. The redwood tree. But when it grows into a huge tree. So, you know, always get knowledge, get wisdom. With all your getting, get understanding. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I gotta go start this day off with these folks, find a parking spot, and get busy. I'll holler at y'all in a minute. Get back at me. If you like my videos, like and subscribe, man. I'm just coming from a perspective. I see a lot of negativity on this internet, a lot of stuff, and I got some information that I want to share because I come from I come from a reputable place where I think that the information might be needed. So I'm gonna share this information with you, man. In hopes that we better our communities, better our situations in life, and get our stuff together, man. So y'all have a blessed day, man. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.